When individuals hear that I work with the Akashic Records, one of the first things that I am usually asked is, what are the Akashic Records? And there is some information out there in the spiritual community. So for some people, this is common knowledge, but a lot of people are coming into their spirituality and they're wanting to learn about these metaphysical concepts. So I'm making this video to hopefully answer some of your questions and speak to a little bit more of what the records are, what the records are not. And if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comment box and I will do my best to answer them when I see them. So there's lots of ways that the Akashic Records have been described. One of the most common ones is an energetic database, or like an etheric database that contains all information and experiences from like past, present, and what might be in the future. But the metaphor that I feel easiest to think of them as, in order to ground this metaphysical concept and make it more relatable to me, is thinking about them like a giant library in the sky, or a library in the cosmos. And for myself, when I go into the records, it's like walking into a giant library and looking around at all these books, and through intention and speaking to what book I want to access is how the records are actually opened. So if I am doing a reading for an individual, I will be going to their book, and I will be doing that through saying their name and asking that the records for whoever it is be opened. If I am accessing something for the collective, I will be asking for like the energy of the month of, the month ahead. And I have to be very specific about it. So is it a little overwhelming? Absolutely. And you can't just walk through and pick up other people's books of soul and read their stories. It doesn't work like that. That is spiritually invasive, and you won't be allowed in. There are guardians of the records. They just come through as energetic presences and beings of light to me. And you really have to ask for permission and support in order to step into the records, and you need to be in a space with purity of heart, clarity of intent, and only wanting to access the information for the highest good. So that's a little bit about what the records are. The information that they give us is surprisingly practical. And this is one of my favorite things about working with the Akashic Records, because I feel sometimes when channeled spiritual information comes in, sometimes it can be really beautiful, but it can be hard for some people to relate to it. Especially if it's too like super fluffy and filled with love and light. If you're going through a struggle or you're going through a challenge, you might not be in a space to fully receive that. And the records come through often metaphorically and give examples. Like, for example, when I open them up to channel for the month ahead, what I often will see is one month this year, I saw this van, like a minivan on a road trip, and I saw this little kid in the back, and everybody was really tired of being in the van. They've been traveling for a while, and I heard this voice from the back pipe up, "Are we there yet?" And the guidance that we were given is that this was going to be a month that we might have that feeling, and that we might feel like, come on, I want to be at the destination already. I've been moving towards this for a while. How am I not there yet? And this beautiful advice that we were given to cope with that kind of frustration feeling when we want to be somewhere and we're not is, can you be like focused on the fact that you're on the road? Can you be grateful that you're in the van itself? Can you be happy that you're like at least contained right now and you're moving in the right direction? Can you honor that part of your journey? And when I'm accessing information for individuals, again, it's very practical. It's always loving. It's always for the highest good, but it's also grounded. And I feel this is really important because so many times spiritual concepts don't feel grounded. And I'm a grounded spiritualist. I really believe in whether it's whatever higher level energy that we're accessing, that it needs to feel relatable, that it needs to feel knowable, and it needs to be something from our human perspective that we can kind of take and grab onto and say, okay, this helps. I have the perspective that I need. So if you are curious about the records and you want to know more, I invite you over to my website, drbethanne.com. I have a free monthly offering called Akashic Magic, where I open the records up for the month ahead. It's an e-letter. It comes to your inbox on the last day of each month. And when you sign up, You will find lots of information on the records. I've got a Akashic Records 101. I actually open the records and ask questions about the records, and there's an audio on the site that you can listen to. Akashic Magic comes in both written form. I offer a written transcription and also the audio, so you can just listen to it. So that is number one way to learn more about them. And if you're really interested in diving deeper, I do one-on-one private Akashic readings. I meet over Zoom, and we really open your records together and really dive into what guidance wants to come through for you from your records and from your guides. So let me know if you have any questions, write them in the comments below. And thank you for joining me in this video. I am wishing everybody much aloha and light.